Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery that is Area 51. You know it, I know it, it's the place where conspiracy theories go to breed. We're talking UFOs, government cover-ups, and maybe even some alien autopsies. Buckle up because we're about to take a wild ride through 15 facts about this place that they don't want you to know. Now, I'm not saying I believe everything I hear, but let me tell you, there's something fishy going on out there in the Nevada desert. The government says it's just a testing facility, but the stories, man. The stories. People see weird lights in the sky. Talk about reverse-engineered alien tech. It's enough to make you wonder, you know? And look, I'm a rational guy. I like to stick to the facts. But the more you dig into Area 51, the more you realize the truth is stranger than fiction. So grab your tinfoil hats, folks, because we're about to explore the secrets the government doesn't want you to know. Let's do this. Alright, first things first. Where are we even talking about? Area 51, this mysterious patch of land, sits smack dab in the middle of the Nevada desert. I'm talking about Groom Lake, a dry lake bed that's part of the even bigger and more ominous-sounding Nevada Test and Training Range. It's like the government took the most desolate, isolated place they could find and said, "Perfect, let's put something top secret here." And that's exactly what they did. This ain't no Area 52 or 53, this is the big leagues of government secrecy. We're talking about a place so locked down, so shrouded in mystery that just getting close to it could land you in some serious hot water. They've got signs out there warning you to stay away, armed guards patrolling the perimeter, and who knows what else. Motion sensors, heat detectors, maybe even some experimental laser beams. I wouldn't put it past them. This is a place where the government doesn't want any prying eyes. It's a place where they can do whatever they want without anyone knowing about it. Makes you think, doesn't it? So, who's calling the shots at this super secret base in the desert? Officially, Area 51 is run by the United States Air Force. It's a bona fide military installation. But here's where things get interesting. This place answers to a higher power. Edwards Air Force Base is known for its cutting-edge research. They've been involved in some pretty wild stuff over the years. So, the fact that they're in charge of Area 51 tells you a lot. So, you're probably thinking, hey, if this Area 51 place is just a testing facility, why all the secrecy? Well, my friends, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We're talking about a level of security that would make Fort Knox blush. This ain't your average military base, we're talking 24/7 surveillance, motion sensors, you name it. They say there are even armed guards authorized to use deadly force against trespassers. Deadly force. Now, I'm all for protecting national security and whatnot, but that just seems a little intense for a bunch of airplane tests, don't you think? It's like they're trying really hard to keep something under wraps. And when the government goes to these lengths to keep things secret, well, it just makes you wonder what they're hiding, doesn't it? I mean, are we talking experimental aircraft here, or are we talking something a little more extraterrestrial? Listen, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens, right? I mean, why else go through all this trouble? It's the ultimate conspiracy theory fuel, and trust me, we'll dive deeper into that rabbit hole later in the show. Okay, so the official story is that Area 51 is just a testing ground for experimental aircraft. And yeah, I get it, they gotta test these things somewhere, right? Keep it all hush-hush, away from prying eyes. We're talking about the cutting edge of aviation technology here, folks. Stealth bombers, spy planes, you name it. The kind of stuff that would make even Maverick and Goose jealous. It's like something straight out of Top Gun, except instead of beach volleyball, they're probably dissecting weather balloons or something. But here's the thing, if it's just airplanes, why not be a little more open about it? I mean, wouldn't a little transparency go a long way in quelling all the rumors and speculation? It just seems like they're going out of their way to keep things under wraps. Which again, just makes you wonder what they're really up to out there. Maybe it's not just about testing new planes. Maybe it's about pushing the boundaries of what we know about flight itself. Reverse engineering captured alien technology, perhaps? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But hey, a guy can dream, can't he? Alright, so how did this place get its name, Area 51? It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, right? Well, the truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction. It all goes back to the Atomic Energy Commission, those guys who were all about splitting atoms and blowing stuff up back in the day. See, they divided up the Nevada desert into these different numbered areas for testing purposes. And guess what? Area 51 just happened to be the spot where they decided to set up shop. Now you would think they could have come up with a cooler name, right? Something a little more mysterious, a little more catchy, but nope, they went with Area 51. It's like they weren't even trying. But here's the thing, sometimes the simplest explanations are the best ones. Or are they? Maybe the boring name is just a cover, a way to deflect attention from what's really going on out there. It's the ultimate misdirection, and you know what? I wouldn't put it past them. Alright, so we're talking Area 51. This place has been shrouded in secrecy for decades, but its roots go way back, even before the CIA and all that UFO stuff. We're talking World War II, when the whole world was going nuts. Back then, the US Army Air Corps, they needed a place to practice, blow stuff up without worrying about civilians. So they picked this patch of desert, Groom Lake, as their own personal shooting range. Imagine B-17s, B-24s, all those heavy hitters, flying over this desolate landscape, guns blazing. They called it the Nellis Air Force Base Auxiliary Gunnery Range. Catchy, right? It was the perfect spot, isolated, miles from anything. Nobody was going to complain about the noise or, God forbid, stumble upon top-secret military exercises. They could do whatever they wanted out there, test out new weapons, train pilots, the whole 9 yards. Little did they know this patch of desert they were using for target practice would become the most mysterious place in the world. The war ended, but the government, they saw something in this place, something special. And that's when things start to get really interesting. The year is 1955, right in the thick of the Cold War. The Soviets got the bomb and everyone is on edge. The US needed a way to spy on the Russians without them knowing. Enter the CIA with their cloak and dagger stuff. They were working on Project Aquatone, featuring the Lockheed U-2. This thing could fly over 70,000 feet, way above enemy airspace. Equipped with high-powered cameras, it took detailed pictures from miles up. Groom Lake, an old World War II bombing range, was the perfect spot. This was top-secret stuff, black budget, the whole shebang. The U-2 project was a huge success, giving the US a critical advantage. It solidified Area 51's reputation for testing advanced, secretive technology. So the U-2, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Whispers in the desert about other aircraft being developed at Area 51, planes that looked like they were straight out of science fiction. The A-12, also known as Oxcart, even faster and stealthier than the U-2, capable of Mach 3 speeds, 3 times the speed of sound. Area 51 became this legendary testing ground for experimental aircraft. The F-117 Nighthawk, the world's first operational stealth aircraft. It could fly undetected by radar, like a phantom in the night. Area 51's place in the public imagination as the home of the future of aviation. Alright, so we've talked about the U-2, the spy planes, the whole shebang, but now we're getting into the really juicy stuff. In 1989, this dude, Bob Lazar, comes out of the woodwork and just drops a bomb on the UFO community. He claims he worked at Area 51, not on planes, but on alien spacecraft. Lazar said he saw actual photographs, autopsy photos of these beings. He described them in detail, said the government was reverse engineering their tech. I mean, this wasn't just some drunk guy at a bar, this was on TV. He went public with it. Now, Lazar's story is wild. I mean, really out there. A lot of people, experts, debunked his claims, his background, his education. It didn't all add up. But here's the thing, even with all that, Lazar tapped into something massive. His story, whether true or not, it blew the lid off the whole alien thing at Area 51. It gave life to this whole new wave of conspiracy theories, and people have been obsessed with it ever since. So, Area 51 is synonymous with UFOs, right? I mean, it's like peanut butter and jelly. And you've got to admit, the whole secretive government base in the middle of the desert thing, it's practically begging for UFO stories. People have been reporting strange lights, weird objects flying around Area 51 for decades. And it's not just your average Joe Schmoes either. We're talking pilots, military personnel, people who know what they're looking at in the sky. Now the government, they'll tell you it's just experimental aircraft, weather balloons, swamp gas reflecting off Venus. You know the drill. But for a lot of folks, those explanations just don't cut it. The sheer volume of sightings, the weird movements, the descriptions of these objects, it's hard to ignore. Is it possible, just possible, that some of these UFO sightings are legit? That something truly unexplainable is happening in the skies above Area 51? For years, the government denied. Area 51, never heard of it. UFOs, nonsense. But then in 2013, something crazy happened. The CIA, in a totally unexpected move, declassified documents about Area 51. They finally admitted it existed. Now, before you get too excited, they didn't come clean about the aliens or anything like that. The documents mainly focused on the U-2 spy plane program, which we know was a big deal at Area 51. They said all those UFO sightings, just people seeing the U-2 in action, mistaking it for something extraterrestrial. They even released detailed information about the plane's capabilities, its flight patterns, trying to explain away the strange lights and movements people had reported. But here's the thing, a lot of people weren't buying it. They felt like this was just a carefully curated release of information, a way to appease the public while still keeping the really juicy stuff under wraps. So, we've got all these reports of weird lights, strange objects in the sky, people freaking out about UFOs around Area 51. People are seeing this stuff, man. They're not making it up. It's gotta be aliens, right? Well, not so fast. The CIA comes out and says, hold on folks, we might have an explanation for all this UFO craziness. See, they finally admitted that Area 51 exists, which is a big deal in itself. And their explanation for all those UFO sightings? They say it's just us, man. They're saying that all those strange lights, all those crazy maneuvers people were seeing, it was just test flights of the U-2 and other top-secret aircraft. They were up there, high altitude, pushing the limits, and people on the ground are looking up like, whoa, what is that thing? Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen some weird stuff in the sky. I've talked to pilots, military guys, people who have seen things they can't explain. So, is the government telling us everything? Are they really just test flights, or is there something else going on? Makes you think, man. Alright, so imagine you've got a job interview, right? But this isn't your typical 9-to-5 gig. This is Area 51. Top secret, super hush-hush. You probably think they've got some high-tech underground transport system or something. Teleportation, maybe? Nope. Turns out it's way more low-key than that. These dudes are just hopping on a plane, seriously. They fly in and out of a special, super-secret terminal at McCarran International Airport in Vegas. I mean, it's Vegas, so it's already kind of wild, right? But this takes it to a whole other level. They've got these unmarked planes, no logos, no nothing, just blank slates flying through the air. And the airspace above Area 51, totally restricted, man. They call it airspace R4808N. Nobody goes in or out without permission. It's like its own little country up there. So, you're telling me these guys working on the most advanced technology on the planet, maybe even reverse engineering alien spacecraft, are just commuting on a plane like the rest of us? Doesn't really add up, does it? So, for a long time, man, the government wouldn't let you see Area 51 from space. They'd blur it out on satellite images like it was some big secret, which of course just made everyone more curious, right? You know how it is, the more you try to hide something, the more people want to find out what it is. But then, something crazy happened. They just stopped. It's like they said, all right, fine, look all you want, and you know what? You can actually pull up Area 51 on Google Maps now. It's wild, man. It's like the government finally admitted, yeah, okay, that place exists. But of course, you're not gonna see any alien spaceships just chilling on the runway or anything. Still, it makes you wonder, why the change of heart? Did they finally move all the good stuff to a different, even more secret location? The conspiracy part of my brain says yes. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the reason we're all here, aliens. Is the government hiding extraterrestrial beings at Area 51? I mean, it's the ultimate question, right? You've got Bob Lazar, who seems like a pretty credible dude, saying he worked on alien tech there. Then there are all those UFO sightings, people seeing weird lights in the sky around the base. It's hard to ignore, man. Now the government denies it all, of course. They say it's just experimental aircraft, weather balloons, swamp gas, you name it. But come on, some of that stuff just doesn't add up. I'm not saying I believe it 100%, but I'm not ruling it out either. The universe is a big, strange place. and we're just starting to scratch the surface of what's out there. I mean, wouldn't it be crazier if we were the only intelligent life in the entire cosmos? So there you have it, folks. 15 mind-blowing facts about Area 51. It's a place shrouded in secrecy, with a history as wild as any sci-fi movie. We may never know the full truth about what goes on out there in the Nevada desert, but that's part of what makes it so fascinating. It's a giant question mark, a blank canvas for our imaginations to run wild. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. Let us know in the comments which fact surprised you the most. And hey, if you've got any of your own Area 51 theories, I'm all ears. Let's discuss in the comments, man.